Hey guys, I'm just gonna make a video rambling about Monster Hunter and whatnot, kind of inspired by Monster Hunter World's release, and I've been playing it recently. Yeah, but before I get to Monster Hunter World, I just want to talk about my general experience with Monster Hunter. So, probably around 2012, I think is when I was introduced to Monster Hunter, and my first game playing it was Monster Hunter Unite. I think I remember the year because I had started my channel somewhere around that point, and then I started playing that. And I played it for like 6 months, but I know this because I had looked at the last time I uploaded the video, and that's like how long it was. It's crazy. I fell in love with it. Of course, when I initially played it, that was definitely not the case. I struggled to continue to want to play the experience. It was completely different than the average thing that I was used to. When you hit enemies in the majority of games, they either die or flinch or something. But that's not immediately the case in Monster Hunter. So, understanding that how you were supposed to play was definitely something that was interesting because I didn't have nobody to play with. This is a handheld system, mind you, on the PSP. Nobody to talk to, like, hey, give me some advice or whatnot. Um, and I'll tell you, I have like about a few particular memories which stood out to me to this day, right? So we have young Kaku. This guy is like kind of like the first proper hunt that you go through. Like I mean, like they have these like little raptor things, and there's like a boss of that, but really he's just a stronger version of them. It's really not a big deal. I mean, you really can't be so bad at the game you'd have trouble with him. But this monster who ends up becoming should be end up becoming fodder to you later after experiencing getting more experience in the game. I mean, actually gave me a bit of trouble, partially because I didn't bring whetstones, and for half or so of the hunt, I had to like I was using dual blades, and I'd have to you hit him, and then your weapons bounce off, and I'd have to keep trying to like get around that problem because I didn't want to just quit the quest and go back in with proper equipment. So I dealt with it. Honestly, it was a stupid decision, but it made that battle quite tedious, and of course I still remember to this day, years later. Then once I got by that, the next thing which was far more challenging than he was the kazoo. Now, this guy you fought in like the snowy mountain region, and his thing was electricity, and he had this like annoying attack where his whole body would be charged. And if you're a ranged user, it wouldn't be much of a problem. But personally, I was a dual blade user, so being a melee user, I couldn't hit him while he was in this state. Otherwise, you'd get hurt. I'm not sure if other melee weapons might be immune to that, but it took me several tries to overcome this challenge. And when I did, oh man, I was excited. And, like it was just like this heavy burden that was relieved from you, and it was such an incredible experience, which was probably only surpassed by one other thing, which was Rajang. Now, like the ultimate monster of Monster Hunter Unite was the Fatalis, like this huge legendary dragon, and there's like three versions of it: a regular one, a meteor one, and like a white lightning one. And to unlock the G rank, which is like the highest version, there's like a low rank section of monsters, a high rank section of monsters, and a G rank. Basically, they get stronger, possibly bigger or whatnot, and even possibly new attacks. And in the case of the Bajang, like his like high rank form, like he was normal, and he'd go like Super Saiyan, like from Dragon Ball, like he turned like golden, and he'd become faster, stronger, all that good stuff. And then his G rank one, his normal form was Super Saiyan. His angry form was like a Super Saiyan 2, where he's covered in lightning. It was crazy. It was like a nightmare. Well, to unlock the G rank Fatalis, right? You had to go through training, which if you played Monster Hunter World is kind of like arena, I guess, where you'd have they give you like five random like weapon and armor sets and whatnot to pick. Like you couldn't use your gear; you'd have to use what the game offers you, which kind of made it the pain if you weren't used to playing any of the weapon types that were available. And there were two that out of the you had to beat these training challenges. I think it was only with one weapon for each thing, and then you would unlock the G rank Fatalis. So I really wanted to unlock that. And there were two in particular challenges that took me several tries to beat. The first of which was the Congolo, which I don't have a picture for, but he's like this pink monkey that his whole theme is being stinky. I think it was affected your stamina or something if he got you with his with his effects. And then the other was the Rajang, which for me and my experience of Monster Hunter Unite was the hardest challenge to defeat. You'd have to when you play these training missions, you'd have your like the limited stuff that they give you in the beginning. The thing is, you absolutely had to explore the map. Go to like most, if not all, gathering points in the map that you know about, and gather, because there was like random items in them. Like you'd gather something that would normally be an herb, and it could be a potion or something. You probably don't know, right? But it's gonna be the same thing every time. Like that same spot is always gonna pick up that altered item that you'd get. So the first time you'd play through these training quests, you gather at every spot, kind of learn where the good stuff is, the stuff that would kind of benefit your situation, and then you'd restart because you want as much time as possible and get those things and then fight the monster. This monster stood out to me because how difficult it was for me to complete this quest. After like several failures, I don't know if it was like 3 to 7 times it took me, and I honestly can't remember if I was using dual blades or lance or whatnot. I can't recall. But this fight is incredibly memorable to me because I literally killed him in the last second of having of the mission. I thought I failed. I was quickly checking that timer. I saw there was like 10 15 seconds left. I'm like, the quest is about to end. I'm about to run out of time, and fail the mission again. And like I kill him at what I thought was the very the end. Like I thought I failed, and I was just about to start getting sad because you get invested when you put time into things. And and then that weird moment where it's like you're sad inside because you thought you failed, and then you see quest cleared on the screen, and it's just like there's just no words. There is no words to express that feeling that I had in that moment. Like Monster Hunter Unite was a memorable game, and I'm glad that I stuck through it to the end, right? So I want to move on to Monster Hunter World. I'm gonna most. This is gonna kind of change the tone of the video, as let me just say this straight up. This is a fantastic game. I even would consider it a must-own among action adventure RPG fans, right? Which probably pretty much covers most people, I guess, right? That are in the games. Definitely an incredible game. But I want to focus a bit more on the things that I dislike it or think could be improved, whatnot. Because it's still Monster Hunter, so good amount of what I like about the game is still there, but so yeah. So let's gonna we're gonna start with difficulty. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Compared to Monster Hunter Unite, this is an easy game. Like, until I got to the Elder Dragons, there wasn't a time where I failed a mission because the monsters weren't threatening enough for me to fail. I mean, given I had experience with the series, so possibly if you didn't, you might have a different experience than I did. But you know, I found it to be really easy until like Nerganke, which has some one hit kill moves. So even though my first time facing him, I got him near death, he managed to land those one hit kill moves on me and he set me in the cart one too many times. And the game can be a bit challenging if at that point and after if you're not prepared. But definitely up until that point, I consider it to be an easy game where like you may get carded, which is knocked out like one or two times, but you're probably not gonna fail too many missions up until the Elder Dragon section of the game. The next issue I have with the game is decorations. This irks me because if you played Monster Hunter World, you know that the decorations are honestly not needed to do literally anything. You could beat any quest in the game without decorations. It might be a little bit more difficult to do so, might take more time, but yeah, you really can. And getting the majority of them is straight up luck, whether it be in beating specific quests like tempered monsters or certain other monsters will offer you some, or you could like meld ones that you don't use into new ones. Like I had heard somebody spent like was it 250 to 300 plus hours in game and they didn't get another attack orb, what's it called, attack decoration, which just adds one level to your attack. And that's sad, man. Like there's like a regular item thing for the melding girl, and you know she literally just makes whatever you pick in the list. Like you have like defense, element attack, element defense. So some of the kind of basic ones, I guess. And honestly, I would have preferred that system over this nonsense, random chance system. Like it's just unnecessary and drags the game out. They they really should have just had every single freaking decoration obtainable in a store. Pay them money, give them points, give them materials, whatnot. But I think it would have been way better if you as the player had control over what you wanted to get, and when you get it. And just going back to that difficulty thing for a moment, like I remember some of the like you had a 15-minute timer just like in Unite, right? Well, I remember like some like I said with the Rajang, some of those quests like the gold wreathing or whatnot. Like I I don't know if other weapons did better, but when I was using dual blades, like the highest like form of some of them, like the dragon schisms, which I thought were pretty good. At least looking at the numbers straight up, without knowing the stuff in a game that the game doesn't like tell you that you shouldn't really know. But like I'd still be sitting there to like if I was soloing it to like the later section of the timer. But in Monster Hunter World, probably most battles, like the longest ones, maybe 25 minutes. Could probably beat them under 20 minutes, and I don't even look up the speed runs, or it might ruin the game for you if you're like me, like how fast some people legitimately kill monsters by themselves. It's kind of sad and honestly ruins what I considered the game to be. Moving on, Hunter rank, it doesn't really have a limit. I guess it goes up to 999 supposedly. I think in think in Unite it was 10, and I'm personally a fan of some restrictions when it comes to certain stuff like that. I don't really like things to go on endlessly. I don't feel that I don't feel that there should be a hunter rank that goes up that high. I mean, like maybe 15 to 20. Now it could go higher than 10, but going up to 999, which after 100 you won't I guess you could unlock titles or little stickers or whatnot. The stuff that I personally don't care about. It's just another thing that adds grinding to the game, and I am not a fan of grinding. Our lives are finite; they can end at any time. I feel like systems like this do not respect the player's time, and while you could say that's while some people could legitimately say that's kind of what Monster Hunter is, a grinding game. You keep fighting the same monsters to get gear, uh, money pieces, etc. Right? But I think there's a limit. There should be a limitation to that. I find it hard to explain. I think grinding is okay to a limit, but there's a certain point where it's kind of just insulting to me as a person rather than being good game design. Oh, let's see. Another issue I have with Monster Hunter World is being unable to disable blacksmith scenes or the thing that asks you if you want to equip a weapon after you upgrade it or make it or whatnot. Like say you have a bunch of pieces, and maybe it's more likely. It's probably more likely in a scenario where you've already kind of like mastered one weapon and stuff, and you have a bunch of extra pieces. So maybe you want to uh, try another weapon. So you want to upgrade all the way to the end of a tree on like some other weapon type, and doing that is slower than it should be because every time you buy a weapon, it tries playing this little movie scene which you can skip, but then you're forced to watch like a couple seconds of the item sliding onto the counter in front of you, then sitting there, and then the game asks you if you want to equip said thing, which personally I don't. And then you could finally repeat the process of upgrading the next thing. I wish it could be quicker. Just like upgrade and it would like do you want to upgrade? Yes. Do you want to upgrade? Yes. Does like allow you to like progress through the tree quicker and not like slow it down unnecessarily. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of saving time. It's like it's a minor nitpick, I know, but I wish there was an option to make that quicker. Um, another minor nitpick I have with the game is being unable to go immediately back to your camp or your headquarters after a quest, which of course includes after expeditions. And yeah, I mean, you kill a monster, you gotta wait like 60 seconds, regardless of what you do. If you capture them, it's down to like 20 seconds, which is better. And it's like it literally is gonna keep you waiting for no reason at all. Like there should be a thing like, can I head back now? Should be a simple thing, right? Again, it's not a big deal, but it'd be nice if I had the option to be like, I don't want to wait the 20 60 seconds. Can I just go back? Uh, so yeah, there's that. Um, Investigations are a bit iffy of a complaint. I personally don't like how it's set up. I don't like how there's like multiple quests of the same exact thing. There may be like minor differences in rewards and whatnot. As I just said that twice. I kind of wish it was set up more like, I don't know, like one of each monster. You could just like hunt them in a neat list. Which and there'd also I kind of also wish there was no limitations for how many times you could do a thing. So especially when you get to the tempered monster section, which is kind of like the ultimate challenge in a game, I guess. It'd be nice if like you literally just unlock a monster and you can fight it as many times as you want, because especially with the nonsense system unlocking tempered monsters has. You find these tracks, right? They're blue. They're lit up blue, and you keep finding them, and then you randomly unlock quests. Like, you figure if you find Rathalos, a tempered Rathalos print, you'll unlock a tempered Rathalos investigation. That's not the case. It's just another game design that straight up wastes people's time. I don't even know how you could defend this, because that's really all it is to waste people's time, not getting what they actually want. And then when they finally get it, you limit how many times they could do it. It's stupid to me. Also, if you unlocked a lot of, if you got enough far enough into the game where you've unlocked a lot of investigations, um, the thing could go up to, like, I don't know, what was it, 17, 20 pages or whatnot. I'm not sure. I forget what the limit was, so I don't really look at that too often. But there's if you ever try going through there might be quests which you're not interested in doing or which are kind of useless to you, and the removal system of that is pretty freaking bad. Like, you press uh whatever button is on your controller or keyboard, whichever it is that you're using, and of course it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to do this? And it's like, yes. There's no freaking, there's no, like, delete all things in the page. There's no delete all investigations. You have to remove them one by one. And let me tell you, I think that thing goes up to like 250 investigations in your little list. That is slow. And it's kind of a minor complaint. Again, it doesn't really affect the experience, but again, it's something that would have improved the game, like, just a little bit, to have a better removal system than is available. Another minor complaint, because, as I said, it's a great game. There's not too many like serious game breaking flaws to me, besides you know the ones that, like, the ones that personally waste your time, or straight up just wasting time. That those really do bother me. But since they're not, like, needed to, some of them aren't needed to progress and complete the game to a satisfactory level. They're not enough to break the game to not want to play it, right? You should be able to manually organize equipment. There's, like, all kinds of organization options for sorting. But when I played Monster Hunter Unite, right, you had this, like, huge page, like, several huge pages for gear, and I'd have my armors all neatly organized on, like, on one page, like, in order of rarity or whatnot, or what the purpose was. And then on another page, I'd have all of my weapons organized by, like, what type of element they were. It was all neat and stuff. So I want to find something, like, instantly. I could. There was no, like, looking for it. I'm not sure where this thing is. I have to go over all the weapons. You know what I mean? Like, the organization definitely could benefit from being able to manually organize where your equipment is. Personally, I would like that more. And I suppose my final issue with the game is events, right? And it's because some of them some of them can contain special gear, which you could only get from them, and that's fundamentally a problem since events naturally are going to disappear over time. And I guess it's a DRM game, so it's online. Well, online only, but you can play offline, at least, unless they do something which breaks that. Um, I don't know if they're gonna have this, like, event thing on this, like, pre generated thing, so that, like, every X amount of time it'll automatically do it, or if they actually have to have people behind it. Because if they have people who are in charge of this, you do understand that at some point in the future that would become a problem. If maybe you didn't get the game immediately, maybe, because new people are being born, maybe some people get it, like, X amount of time down the line. If this system is no longer functioning, your only option to get things might be to, like, cheat, which is kind of unfortunate. And yeah, it's kind of like, just probably bad game. That's kind of bad game design to me. I mean, it's all right. It's all right if you're playing it now, but in the future that could be more of a problem. And yeah, so that's just me kind of rambling a little bit on my experiences with the Monster Hunter um, series. I actually did play Portable Third for a little while. I wasn't into that as much as I was Unite, but that was an awesome game as well. Uh, I'm gonna pack it up here. If you got to the end of the video, thanks for giving me a valuable time of your life to listen to my thoughts on the experience and whatnot. Have a wonderful day or night.